What's up guys, Justin here of YugaTech, and today we're going to have a tech debate. Our topic, smartphone cameras versus dedicated cameras. So for the smartphone cameras, we have Arel Ebana, we have Joshua De Leon, and on the other corner for dedicated cameras, we have Joey Maceda and Enzo Angeles. Alright, let's begin. Our first question. So do you see a future where dedicated cameras no longer have a place in the lives of consumers?
No.
Why?
Okay, that's a no start for the dedicated cameras.
Dedicated cameras still have a place in the lives of consumers because just as smartphone camera technology is advancing, so is the technology in dedicated cameras. So you see features in smartphones being developed like super low light sensitivity, super zoom, super resolution. But at the same time, for dedicated cameras, you're also getting better lens technology, better sensor technology, better ISO sensitivity, things like that. Like we have 8K video now, 16K is in the horizon.
It's yes, because smartphone camera evolves as well, like what you have said. And we can see that camera may potentially lose its place as a piece of equipment that can produce advertising quality images. And maybe not in the near future, but it will happen.
I will admit it could happen, but they're not totally going to disappear. We could be defining consumers as people like us. For people like us, yeah, maybe dedicated cameras will disappear, but consumers are also people who are professionals. You're not going to be seeing, even in the remote future, I don't think you're going to be even seeing like professional photographers, cinematographers switching from their DSLRs and cinema cameras for their smartphones. It's a purpose-built tool just for one purpose. A smartphone is built to do a lot of things. A dedicated camera is only built to take good images.
Now, we used to have a lot of dedicated tools before. Like maybe one good example would be a calculator.
Yeah.
That's one dedicated tool.
Yeah.
Which is now in a smartphone. You don't see people carrying dedicated calculators nowadays anymore, do you? So there's still that.
I could think of several examples.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or basically just an MP3 player. For the past decade, people
But they still exist. They still exist.
Phones are like, for me, are a band-aid for a wound na sobrang, that's so deep. It's not really going to do that much compared to what a camera could do. To some extent it can, but not. But it's just that. It's not going to produce like really good quality images like in the DSLR.
Yeah, but you know, the versatility of a smartphone is very convenient than having a dedicated camera. For instance, basically, you want to share
Alright, I'll stop you there.
Okay.
I think everyone made their points already.
Okay.
Let's proceed to the
Okay.
next.
Oh wow. Okay.
Oh wow, okay.
Okay.
Alright.
Next question. In an era where everything mostly revolves around social media, assuming that there will be limited file sizes, is it still practical to use cameras?
No. Straight up no. Because when you upload a photo on social media, if you got the highest resolution photo, it's just gonna be compressed anyway. So what's the point of having a high resolution photo taken by a DSLR or almost the same quality taken with a smartphone? So, you know, the convenience of just point your camera or your smartphone to a subject, then have it posted on social media, and that's it. That's convenience.
He does make a point, and you know, you won't notice the difference between a smartphone and a DSLR because you're looking at it through your smartphone anyway. Well, at least most of us, generally.
Smartphones, social media, it's not the only medium there is,
Yeah.
right?
You're right. For example, take a photo of somebody with your smartphone and put it on a billboard in EDSA. You'd see a lot of pixels there,
Yep.
man.
Oh, how can you be so sure? Because
Sensor size.
yeah, but
Sensor size. The average size of a smartphone sensor is only a third of an inch. Ali right there is shooting on a very tiny camera. That's a Sony RX100. The sensor size is 4 times as big. What more for a DSLR? This is APS-C. That's even 16 times as big. Full frame over there. That could be over 20 times as big. So even if you say that they maybe the general quality would be nice on a phone or a laptop or maybe even a TV, the sensor size is still not going to increase in the next few years because you have to keep it tiny. It has to fit here.
Yeah, but having a larger sensor on a camera, it means it can receive a lot of light than a smartphone camera because it does have a smaller sensor. But the point is, you're shooting on a very lit environment for sure if you want to use it for a billboard or any advertising campaigns.
It's
of
not
that
about the
sort.
lighting, it's about the resolution.
Yeah, but the resolution is just almost the same. Not the same quality, but almost. I mean, you can just use an iPhone, for instance, and then...
Okay, let me rephrase the question.
Yeah.
Is it practical to use cameras for social media use?
First of all, social media. Where do you use where do you use social media? You use it in your phones, your PC, and most of us consumer people like to share right away. Having a dedicated camera might make it a little bit more difficult to achieve that because you have
That's
to transfer
true.
this.
That's true,
that.
but there's still definitely room for it. You still see a lot of professional photographers and cinematographers showing stills on their Instagram, on their Facebook. Some of those might be shot on a smartphone, but they still definitely use their dedicated cameras because creators, especially photographers, like the creative control they get from the different manual controls on a camera. You have the dials, you have the buttons, you can really dial in your shot. And then you get your great image, you get the raw file, you edit it on your laptop,
Now-
even your smartphone, and then you post it. That's going to make a better image
Now let's-
every single time.
Now let's say you don't know how to use a dedicated camera to its full potential.
Yeah.
All you have is a smartphone,
Yeah.
which can show you easily how to take a good photo without all the
The hassle of,
you know
setting it up.
this and that, transferring,
yeah.
all these buttons that you have to figure out on a dedicated camera versus just a point and shoot.
Yeah, because basically using a dedicated camera or any DSLR is a little bit complex to a basic user than having a smartphone camera, which is basically just point and shoot.
Okay, let me put you guys somewhere. In a business perspective, talking about social media. So what are the benefits of a camera?
You're not just with a dedicated camera, you're not just limited to social media use. You could be doing broadcast, you could be doing print, you could be doing film, you could be doing TV.
So you're telling that if you're gonna post, if your business is purely for social media, like you're a photographer,
Yeah.
so it means you can offer more.
You can definitely offer more.
With quality.
Okay.
Yeah, though with quality, yes. But with the convenience of like, for instance, you're working on a media outlet. I mean, news come quick. So if you miss that because you need to set this up, you have to do this, and you're just gonna miss the news.
Okay.
You're just gonna miss the story. Other TV stations rely on smartphones, like capturing mishaps happen on MRT stations and that
Yup.
sort. I mean,
Yep.
that's pretty quick.
So
You can
it's
just
really
share it
more
to the world.
on
just-
the go, and this one is planned.
yeah.
Think about it like this. 10 years ago, around 10 years ago, we still had point and shoot cameras.
We still do nowadays.
We still do nowadays, but what do you see more? You see smartphones slowly replacing these point and shoot cameras because it's much easier to use.
But that does not mean
People would stop.
dedicated cameras have lost their value.
But the market.
We're not
Then-
talking about the market.
Yeah,
here.
yeah, but the point is, if the market is big, it means the demand is big. It means the people really needs to use it.
I guess what we're trying to say here is that if smartphones can replace point and shoot cameras, then there's also a chance that smartphones will replace dedicated cameras.
So they say that creativity lies in the person. Having said this, does the tool matter? Does it matter if you're using smartphone or cameras? Does it matter?
If you're really good, the tool does not matter, but you would not put a smartphone in the hands of a seasoned professional who can do great things with a dedicated camera.
You're right. There's an old saying that the best camera out there is the one that you have now,
You already have,
right? And a better camera doesn't necessarily mean better image or better quality. And it's still up to the user to produce quality images, whether it's a smartphone or a DSLR.
Yeah.
Right? Some people with the best camera can't even come close to a person using a smartphone camera with a good eye. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's what I'm saying. A person with the good eye would be able to do a lot more with something like this compared to something like this.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the average Joe. The average Joe will definitely lose to somebody who's great
yeah.
but using this.
Yeah.
But the person who's great would do something better with this compared to this.
And it just, if you're pairing somebody, like Roger Deakins or a really well-seasoned cinematographer with a camera, the camera just complements it. Basically, complements it and just makes his creativity flourish more.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'd like to add that on most smartphones, with the rise of scene detection AI, it does a lot of the thinking for you. Whereas with something like this, you can dial in exactly what you want if you have the good eye, you have the tools.
If you have a good eye.
If you have the good eye. But that's related to the topic.
Yeah. Okay. So what advantages overall can you give when it comes to versatility and convenience of the one you're representing?
Versatility and convenience for smartphones today have been getting better and better at a considerably fast rate. The camera quality of a smartphone 5 years ago is so far compared to something more recent like maybe an iPhone 11. It's actually almost scary to see how far camera smartphones have advanced in such a short span of time. And of course, apart from being a camera, it's also a phone and a bunch of other things. When it comes to battery, dedicated cameras can easily be replaceable. But with such advancements today, like fast chargers and a power bank, a smartphone with a dedicated battery is just as convenient. And you wouldn't have to worry about lugging around extra batteries or dedicated chargers. Instead, you just need your phone and maybe a cable and a power bank, and you're good to go.
Yeah. Plus, battery packs of a camera is a little bit expensive than having a 10,000 milliamp hour power bank, which can run you throughout the day.
Okay.
Okay, inconvenience, sure. The phone could like win, but versatility, bro, lenses, man, lenses.
Lenses. Sure, there are a lot of phones nowadays with 3, 4 rear cameras, but even 5. But that's all you're stuck with.
Yeah.
That's all you have. With this is not a zoom lens, but if this were a zoom lens, you can have 18mm, you can have 20mm, you can have 35, you can have 50, you can have 135. That's so many focal lengths in just one lens.
And
you have,
good quality.
yeah, good glass, because I mean, look at the size of the glass in a camera lens compared to the one in a smartphone lens.
Well, you cannot edit your photo straight up from your camera. Unlike having a photo taken with a smartphone, you can just import it on an editing app and you're done.
Yeah.
If I want a good meal, I'm not going to McDonald's. I'm going to a 5-star restaurant. I'm taking the effort.
No, can everybody afford a 5-star restaurant though?
So this is our last question, and for the last part, I just want you guys to simply defend why I should choose the other over the other. Why should I choose the smartphone over a camera? Why should I choose vice versa?
You guys want to start?
You're gonna have a smartphone anyway, no matter who you are, right? But for special occasions, for those, as a regular consumer, for those times where you really need to take a good image, having something like this, having something like that, having something like that, it's gonna be worthwhile.
Yeah, but sometimes when you want to capture the moment when it happened, I think having a camera is a little bit of a hassle. Since, basically, when you have a smartphone, you have everything. You have basically 100-in-1 type of piece of technology. Since you can just install apps, the camera quality are getting better and better since the technology progresses. Basically, the versatility and the convenience of when you want to capture that moment, you can just share it in your social media, send it to someone you love, send it to anyone. Smartphone is the go-to, basically.
Basically, smartphones nowadays are getting cheaper and cheaper. And at the same time, it offers a lot of features. Almost the same quality as a camera. and it's versatile, and it's a versatile piece of tech. You can have a nice piece of camera, but if you're not in the professional field, then a smartphone is probably your best bet. Moreover, a smartphone is significantly more affordable than a dedicated camera. You might actually be surprised with how much a dedicated camera can run you, especially with all these lenses and all these kits that you have to buy. It's gonna surprise some people. So if you're tight on the budget, smartphones can offer you a gateway in producing quality images without breaking the bank versus, let's say, a dedicated camera.
Any last words, Enzo?
Well, if it's capturing the moment, what if like we haven't addressed like the problem in like the battery consumption or storage? Unlike here, you could really capture the moment, like a lot of moments with
We got
with a
expandable
dedicated-
storage too.
You got expandable storage. Once you run out, what's gonna happen? We can just with the camera, you can just change
Pop
your card.
another-
You can change your card here too.
Pop another battery.
Yeah,
You can
just
change
it
another card
works
here
the
too.
same thing as the camera, because you know, with a dedicated SD card slot, if the SD card runs out of storage, then you just replace it, just like on the ordinary cameras. Well, I think having a smartphone
It's
is
more than good enough,
Yeah,
right?
it's more than good enough. Because when you're walking or with your family, having a DSLR is really just a hassle to bring. I mean, you gotta take it out, you gotta turn it on, set it up, everything.
So really,
Unlike-
it's a matter of
Yeah.
convenience and overall versatility.
Yes, because you don't want to miss those moments with your family you want to capture, right? Or friends. So yeah.
Okay.
So
Alright.
that's it.
And that's it for this video. Let us know in the comments if you have any future debates you want to hear from us.
If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like.
Subscribe.
Hit that bell icon.
So don't miss any future uploads, and be sure to visit YugaTech.com for the latest tech news and reviews.
This has been Joey.
It's your boy Enzo.
Josh.
Arel.
And Justine.